And hello, everyone. Welcome to the Real Estate Show on KCMX News Media 880. Pete Belcaster and Joe Brett, the real estate guys, with you here this weekend. And thanks for joining us here well, it's going to be another terrific show, Joe, which we like because I'm telling you, here in the middle of August, as we're right in the middle, the smoke is still with us and all that's out there. But real estate activity has not slowed down. People always ask me, has the smoke affected sales of real estate? And I did the weekly stats, that I do every week, and there were last week. I mean, look at the smoke that was last week. There were 154 pendings and closed real estate transactions just in Jackson County, and 108 new listings. So if people are telling you that the smoke is causing real estate to be weird, it's not. Yeah. What's happened is that some people who are out of town who wanted to come here and look have canceled, and that's what people are saying.
Well, they may cancel permanently, too, because it's not the first year we've dealt with this issue. It's going to become an issue.
I know it is.
Of people's desire to move here if we can't find a solution.
Or people want to get out of here because they can't stand the smoke. That's really the problem out there as well. Well, Connie Saldana is with us today. Connie is a member of the Rogue Valley Council of Governments, and you, my goodness, we go back a lot of years, back to the RVTV days down at SOU. Connie was involved and saved really the community radio station of KSKQ, the Council of Governments. Didn't they became owners of it, right? Wasn't that what that was?
No, the KSKQ actually belongs to the Multicultural Association.
The Multicultural Association.
Southern Oregon.
Right, that's right. But you were involved with that. That's where that came from.
That's right.
Anyway, but you're involved with lifelong housing and the housing issues there. So it's great to have you here.
Thank you.
The Council of Government, a lot of people, may don't even know what in the world the Rogue Valley Council of Government is.
Well, the actual Council of Governments is just as it says. It's representatives from all of the jurisdictions in our area, plus a lot of special districts such as RCC, SOU, the library district belongs. And so the Council of Governments provides services to governments. But I work on the other side of the building in the Senior and Disability Services side.
A different section of the thing, okay.
And we do things like we have the Food and Friends Meals on Wheels program and senior nutrition sites. We have a lot of evidence-based programs for people who want to improve their health. We have something called the Aging and Disability Resource Connection, which is actually tied in with this lifelong housing. It's a way people can phone in and get resources or help with problem solving. And especially for a lot of people that have never interacted with the service system before, when your mother-in-law comes to live with you or your spouse or your parents get older and start needing additional care, you might need some coaching in how to provide that care, where to find the services, and that's what the ADRC does.
That's that's really important. As I was telling Connie, I would just have a lot of older clients, and I didn't know that part of that there. So because it's the children of aging parents who are the ones who have that burden, and boy, you don't know what to do sometimes. Really, I mean, you don't know what. Depending on the condition of your parent or parents, some people we know both parents need assistance and help. So you'll do that there at the Senior and Disability Center.
Everybody that works there has already dealt with it with their own parents.
Well, I'll tell you,
it's we're just all aging.
We are, and we've all gone through that, and we're going to do that. Well, lifelong housing is something that. People who've watched our show or listened to us for years know that it's something that we've talked about an awful lot over the years, in various ways of people wanting to stay in their homes as long as they can. You're not going to stay forever, and if 80% of people in the country, as that poll shows, 80% age 45 and over want to stay as long as they can in their home, but sometimes you can't because the house can't adapt to you in your new condition, right?
That's right. Well, if you should have to be in a wheelchair because you come out of the hospital with after having had an operation, or you fall and break something, you have to be able to get around in your home in a wheelchair. Although I just want to point out that lifelong housing is not only for people who are aging. lifelong
Right.
housing is good for everyone.
Yeah, and it's good for. And when you talk about lifelong housing, now Connie, by the way, teaches a class on lifelong housing for the Rogue Valley Association of Realtors, who are sponsoring, by the way, today's show. And when you teach this class, you do this for what? I mean, you want to talk to agents, right? Like me and Joe.
Right.
You want to talk to us. What's your message to them? What are you trying to get across to agents at this on this issue, on this topic?
Well, one of the main reasons for even developing this program is that people noticed that there was no standard for realtors to be able to tell their clients this particular house is accessible, right? It might have a ramp, but maybe the tub is not accessible, or you can't get in down the hall, or something like that. So,
Each house, I would think, is this true? Each house was built would have some of those features.
possibly.
Are you talking about possibly
Yeah.
some of those features?
A Victorian home doesn't really.
No, so there's a variation in what you're saying. I suppose there's a variance of of how it would be
Right.
described. Okay,
Okay.
continue. I'm sorry.
Okay, so we wanted people who are looking for a home that they can live in for the rest of their lives to be able to find it. So we developed a list of standards, and we also worked with the Rogue Valley Association of Realtors to find a way to put it on the multiple listing
Okay,
service.
right.
Okay. So we had a really terrific committee of we started with about, 12 people, of builders, realtors, rental owners, an appraiser, of course seniors, and of course people with disabilities.
Okay.
Who all had an interest in developing this. And over the several years it took us to develop our list of features and decide exactly how you could grade something, how you could give it a grade that would be meaningful to someone.
They went through this over green construction.
Right,
Remember
right.
that? I mean,
Yeah,
we
Very
went
similar.
through what remember, it was gold, silver, bronze levels of construction at that time. So this is
Exactly.
you're right. There is no way right now, and I think this is really the important thing here, is that there's no way for a realtor like Joe or I to take someone into a home and to say, this home is certified, or this home has a number of features or whatever for accessibility, because again, we have lots of people retiring here. They want to stay as long as they can. If you don't have some of these things, you may not want that house, right? I mean, you may
Right.
want to look a little further sometimes. Okay, all right.
Exactly. So our list of features, we probably have maybe close to 100 features on there, and our first, we have 3 levels. Level 1 is called visitable, and that means that a person in a wheelchair could come to your house, could get in the front door, could go get around in the main living area, and could make it down the hall to a bathroom. Okay, that's the very basic.
That's the very basic minimum thing.
Yeah.
And
okay.
I'm trying to think. Can most homes today that are built or have been built accommodate that level? Would you say, Connie, is that what most can do?
Well, I
don't know.
I'm
most
not
or
in the
whatever.
house.
Yeah,
I'm not in the house business, so I couldn't tell you
okay, yeah.
percentage-wise. But it's not enough. That much I can tell you.
Okay.
Just thinking of my own house, that would be really difficult. Tight entryway, step up into the entryway, and very tight, narrow hallways and corners to
Right.
navigate. It could be done, but it would not be done comfortably.
Well, but it could be done if you had wide enough hallways.
But
Or
yes,
things like that.
yeah.
But okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I know older homes are going to be much more difficult.
Yep.
Newer homes, you think, as we go through this, should be able to accommodate that minimum, at least the minimum level,
Well,
right?
when you see lifelong certified homes, they are so beautiful and so well laid out. You're going, why does anybody build anything else? Honestly,
Yeah.
Hey, let me.
Yeah, very true.
We've asked that question about green building certifications and things like that. Why
Yeah.
they're beautiful? Why aren't more people doing that? I know.
well,
I
and
feel your pain there.
I've asked that to builders, and they just say, well, I can sell everything I build with my plan that I've used for the last 30 years. Why
Right.
should I change it?
Yeah.
You know.
But there is change afoot, and
Yes, there is.
and we're going to talk about that in our next segment there, because
Yeah.
some people are in fact getting it.
Yeah.
You know, that there is a market for this, and I think that's probably the most the critical thing of all. So you created the certification. So you have courses. You have a course, right, to do these. Is that? Tell me how we're doing this.
Well, I am going to be teaching a course, but it's the first time I'll have been teaching it with the realtors.
Oh, okay.
But we, of course, do presentations to builders. We do presentations to groups of seniors and things like that. We want people to learn about. We work a lot with AARP. We very often we participate in panels with AARP and talk about it.
Now we've had Sharon Johnson, Joe, Sharon and her husband Howard. And they have a business. Give me the name of it again. Do you remember what it's called?
Age-friendly innovation.
Age-friendly innovation.
Yeah.
Now
they're partners of ours. They've been on our committee.
I'm remembering our conversations with Sharon on the development of these standards and how long it took.
Yeah.
So even state and nationwide, there can be an acceptable level of what constitutes an age-friendly home.
Yeah.
Of course, they are really specifically focused in falls prevention, which, of course, is one of the major reasons you want to have a safe home.
Falling is a big problem for seniors, older seniors.
And a lifelong housing certified home is a lot safer for residents to live in. That's one of the main reasons why a person might want to consider that. But Age-Friendly Innovators also has a little program. So if you want to stay in your home that you're in, that means you might have to have it modified.
Right.
You might need a ramp or some grab bars installed or something like that, and they go out and assess the home for safety, for falls prevention.
So they're in the more falls. Okay, but that makes sense because you can stay in your home and maybe for a few changes that someone can help you with, you may be able to extend your time there by years even, who knows. But because so many, you want to hang on as best you can, especially if you're home, if you can take care of your home.
Right.
But if you have like double stories and you have lots of problems in there, then that's probably not the best solution for you. Or to make the home like this, it would cost too much money. It wouldn't make any sense to do.
Remodeling is pretty expensive.
Because I would think that probably would be the biggest detriment would try to make walls. And you think the biggest issue is just the hallways are too small and doorways are too small, right? Isn't that the biggest problem that you face?
Well, there are a lot of issues. That would be the first one, the most obvious.
The most obvious one there.
Like, can you turn around in your kitchen? Can you turn around in your bathroom? Can you turn around in your bedroom? Those are issues. Can you pull open your, if you have arthritis, can you grab the knobs on your cupboards to open your cupboards? Or can you open your window? They're different.
And they built some friendly homes too around here. Sharon Johnson, well, they live in one. I know over there in Central Point.
They live in our first certified home.
Sharon and Howard do.
Yes,
they do. First certified home. Well, that's what you call putting your money where your mouth is, right there, and that's terrific. Because if you don't do that, how can you tell everybody else to do that when you don't do it yourself?
They're set for life.
Yeah.
That's where they're going to be.
Well, we're going to continue here with Connie Saldana from the Rogue Valley Council of Governments today on talking about lifelong housing certification. We've got a break coming up, and we're coming right back to KCMX right after this. And welcome back to the Real Estate Show on KCMX News Media 880. Pete and Joe, the Real Estate Guys, with you today. Don't forget, you can check out any of our past shows at realestateshowOregon.com. There's some terrific shows that are on the archive there, and from estate planning on down, real estate issues and all sorts of things. I just wanted to say, last week, Trevor Boucher was with us, and we were talking about the fire, remember, down in Redding, Joe, and how he told us that his grandfather's home and cabins all burned and didn't have They didn't have any fire insurance because they were 5 miles from a nearest station, I guess. And all of a sudden, fire insurance has become a big issue in some places around, and try to get some right now. And so we're going to have a show on that coming up here soon. Because if you live in the interface, you want to go buy one, you got to have insurance before you can get the loan. And right now, so it's a real ticklish. And so maybe we'll talk about that too. But there's just lots of things happening out there, and nothing. I tell you,
insurance is the risk business. And I'd say the risk of these fires has really increased significantly and quite clearly to all of us.
And as we say, we build further and further deep into the forest interfaces, and we know forests burn. And boy, geez,
when they
anyway.
do,
Yeah.
there you go.
Okay, changing the subject out of this thing. We're talking with Connie Saldana here. Connie's from the Rogue Valley Council of Governments. Today's show presented by the Rogue Valley Association of Realtors and lifelong housing. People wanting to stay in your home as long as you can. That's the bottom line, right?
Right.
Now, we talked about, I know remodeling is very expensive to do this, but you can remodel some small things, right, in your home. Bathrooms, what do you call them? You've got bars, you've got lots of things you can do that don't cost, thousands of dollars, or that need permits and things to be done, right?
Right, that's right. There's a lot of things you could do for a few $100s without making major changes, but then you'll be a lot safer.
Now, will you send somebody out, or will somebody come out and tell me what I might be able to do in my home, or how would I know what to do?
Well, in terms of just that simple fall prevention, I don't want to be giving Sharon and Howard more business than they can handle. But for low-income people, they do an home safety inspection. But if we're talking about lifelong housing, and if someone wanted to take a copy of our checklist and just go through their homes, and maybe their home is already certifiable, we have an inspector, Dale Bohannon, who's been an inspector for many of the jurisdictions in our area and had his own business for many years as a consultant with building inspection. We have an inspector that goes out, he takes our checklist, and you have to get a certain number of features to be able to be certified at one of the 3 levels. Then we issue a certificate, and theoretically the home could be listed on the multiple listing service. The thing we've had with the one builder that's really got this, that really understands it and realizes how important it is to people, his homes sell sometimes when they're even still in construction. And my understanding is that none of them have actually been listed on the multiple listing service.
They haven't got that far.
That's right. Because anybody that sees one gets it. Even if they are only in their 40s, they know their parents might want to come.
And that's Brett Moore out at Twin Creeks, which has been really out in front of this, providing for all-inclusive senior living and a wonderful community plan. They've really got a good plan. They're going to go across the street, across Highway 99.
Still building.
And have access to get across that highway that's going to connect that community more easily to the high school in that area. So there's some really neat things that are happening there.
Are they all going to be certified homes?
Not all. I think
I don't know what his plans are for the future, but I know that right now what he builds is lifelong housing certified.
There's an incredible blend. There's 2 bedrooms that are in there, little neighborhoods of 2 bedrooms, and the lifelong homes, and it's a neat mix.
They even have some little townhomes where the first floor is accessible and has a bedroom and someone can live down there, and then the second floor is that could be for a caregiver, or it could be for a college student that you're renting out, or anything. So they're really forward thinking builders.
I've seen some new products that are lifts that are like kind of elevators to get people up and down off of floors, just exactly what you're talking about, that have been really reduced in price. They used to be pretty spendy. Now they're around $10,000. You can get these lifts, and you can put a wheelchair in them actually, and go up and down. Because some places just aren't going to be able to work for you.
And a home could be certified if it was adaptable. So, for instance, if you were building a home, a 2-story home, you could put 2 closets, one above the other. And that could eventually be an elevator if you needed it. I mean, there are ways you can think ahead. Maybe you're not going to put grab bars in the shower right now, but you put backing in the walls at the time you build the home, and then you can attach the bars.
Just ready and waiting.
Yeah.
So you can have a home built to that standard today.
That's right.
And how many, you said, Brett Moore has done 60-some certified homes. Right. How many total are there now? Because I know it seems to be growing a little bit. That's a good thing.
Well, we've got 2 other homes certified in our area, 2 homes certified in the Portland area, and 1 home certified in Fayetteville, Arkansas, where I went and did a presentation.
Really?
Oh, wow. Must have been a good one.
And the reason she says that, Joe, is that other associations are adopting their checklist and their program here that they've developed here. It's now going all across the country, so people are seeing that. That's really cool.
I should mention something since realtors are going to be listening to the show. Rogue Valley Association of Realtors joined an organization called Real Estate Standards Association. RESO.
Whatever. Yeah,
organization must be the last word. Anyway, that's a national organization that's working to standardize terms that multiple listing services use, so that if you say a home is something in one area, it means
it's
the same thing in another area.
Yeah, that's smart. Okay.
So I was looking on their website a couple of years ago, and I noticed that I was looking for accessible features, and they actually didn't have any. They say ADA, which of course ADA is a government term,
right.
you know. But then they didn't have anything in there. So I met with them in their data dictionary group a year and a half ago, showed them our checklist, and with a few modifications, they adopted that.
Wow.
Wow.
And so if Rogue Valley Association of Realtors belong, and if you wanted to use terminology about accessibility, the terminology that would come from RESO is ours.
Excellent.
So
that's incredible.
So
Well, you've done really good. You got a big checklist here of the three different levels. Remember that visitor accessible, which is just you can kind of come into your house and do around. Enhanced accessible.
Well, that's really full. That's what we would call fully accessible. Every room in the house has some features.
Every room has some of the features. And the third one, which is custom accessible. So that's just you've had a custom home built to accessibility?
Yeah, it's probably, that would be a home that was for resale, and it's been modified by someone for a particular disability. For instance, it might have a track in the ceiling that goes from the bed to the bathroom, or now we're having more and more technology. Maybe it has a camera system set up for a person with dementia. You know, or there are many features that someone might put into their home for their own disabilities. So that would be a very specialized market of someone who is looking for just that. But it's worth being able to put it into the multiple listing service, so they're available for people to know.
Well, the resale value of these is going to be something that I would think that they're going to keep their value.
Right.
Because
we're all aging.
Well, we're all aging, but there's not very many of them yet.
Yep.
And the demand for those would seem like it's going to continue to rise. The whole goal, of course, is for people to stay in your home longer.
Right.
And many of us don't have the options to buy a new place that's already accessible. I think that's going to be the problem.
Right.
And so I'm forced to do something in my own home, I would think, that's going to keep me there longer. But you're right. And I may not have all the money to redo the whole thing, but there are small things. That's what I think people should take advantage of from your programs is, well, what can I do to extend it maybe a little bit longer? I can't do anything about stairs and things like that in your yard, but you can do things in your I would think. Does that make sense?
But even in your 50s, such as I am, for a little while longer, it's probably not too soon to think. And if you were going to make it, you might consider making a move into a newer, age-friendly home that you could just move into and stay in a location that you like, and it's going to accommodate and have the ability to change or meet your needs as you go forward.
And depending on your health situations and where you think you're going to be, your need is going to be in the future.
No guarantees on that either. That's nice to have options.
So we need to add. We got to keep remembering of adding lifelong housing kind of things into our discussions about where can seniors go. Connie, one of the big issues is that as real estate brokers and as we age, where can we go? We got to downsize. I want to right-size my life.
Besides the ice flow.
Yeah. Besides just going away. And so we have such few options.
Right. Yeah,
seniors have such few options, and seniors with disabilities would have even fewer options.
Exactly.
That's right.
That's what's the...
Yeah.
Then I don't, so maybe the best option is to stay in your home and do some of these things, make some of these changes that allow you to stay there longer. Because you're going to sell it on a contingent sale that you're going to buy another place that you can't find, and it just goes on and on. It's kind of a vicious cycle.
Yep.
Well, and we have a booth at the home show every year, and we pass out our list of features at the home show, and I'll tell you, 85% of anybody who picks up that is because they're having a relative come live with them.
A relative come live with them.
And
That's
they want
interesting.
to see what they can do to their home to make that home safer for their relative and more convenient.
And what a great resource for them to have. Yeah, here locally.
And think of the relative, who that could be. That could be your mother-in-law.
Yes,
It could be your father-in-law, your mother, your cousin,
your
your
spouse,
brother, your
even your
brother.
spouse.
You're a family member.
Yeah.
I'm going to put these the checklist on our website at realestateshoworegon.com, and so you can go on there and look at that if you'd like to and see. I was trying to think of that. As I look at this, how many do I have in my house here, too? And you don't have to have every one, but you have to have certain numbers in each level in order to be the certified. Whether you do the certification or not, you really could extend your life. I mean, extend your stay a long time by doing some small things on it.
And I want to say that the certification is the way we got our program going, but it didn't take long for us to see that really that's just one part. The most important part of our work is actually education. It's educating consumers that this is a good buy for a good idea for them. It's educating builders that they can make money at it.
You can make money and sell your homes.
Right. Realtors the same way, that this is a good thing for business for them. And it also saves taxpayers, because you know what, if you have to go into an assisted living or, heaven forbid, a nursing home, thousands of dollars a month you spend on your savings very quickly. So, and then once you spend down your savings, your care is paid for by the government. So
a few dollars now, if you can do it, may just be you can stay a little bit longer. Avoid falls. That's the biggest thing as we talk about being able to stay longer. So some good ideas. We've got a break coming up here. We're with Connie Saldana today from the Rogue Valley Council of Governments. Today's show talking about lifelong housing, presented by the Rogue Valley Association of Realtors. We're coming right back after this. And welcome back to the Real Estate Show here on KCMX News Media 880. Pete and Joe, the real estate guys, with you. Don't forget, if you need any real estate advice or help, you can check one of us out, Pete or Joe. realestateshoworegon.com is our email address as well. So we look forward to hearing from you there as well. So many things going on in the market right now. I was over in K Falls, which we talked about how the markets change in each of our communities, Joe, and lots of places going over there. Prices are so low compared to here that they're now getting, I've seen this last week 3 times, they got more money than they were asking for. Doesn't that sound familiar over here not very long ago? So the market is so interesting as it goes. And again, the smoke does not seem to be affecting buyers and sellers. A lot of activities. We said last week, 150 closed and pending sales and 108 new listings. This is in Jackson County. It's a lot. Anyway, it's different in Josephine County, it's where we go. One thing that's not different is that we got a lot of seniors living in our 2 counties, right? Connie Saldana from the Rogue Valley Council of Governments. We have more seniors, right, per capita or something like that. Tell me that.
We have Jackson and Josephine County are ahead of the curve in Oregon, and Oregon is somewhat ahead of the curve in the country. So Jackson County has about 19% people 65 and over, but Josephine County has 21%. And this is expected, even the national numbers are expected to go up to 25% by 2030. So, and 10,000, right now, 10,000 people a day are turning 65 as the baby boomers.
And what's interesting, too, is that I always thought that there were so many boomers, and, we're building all these independent living places, assisted living places, and things like that, that after the boomers, go through and are gone, who's going to occupy these things? Well, anyway, according in one of the stats here is that the number of older adults is not predicted to decline after the boomers. I did not know that, which says that they're going to keep filling those places up.
That's right. Well, we've got the Gen Xers coming along. And
Millennials.
And the millennial group is bigger than the boomer group, right? So Of course, it may cost $10,000, $20,000 a month by then to live there, but the demand is not going to. I guess the bottom line is the demand for senior housing in all types is not going to go away.
There are a lot of brilliant young people in those groups, and they're going to need to figure it out because my time's going to be done before those real crunches come on where they're all going to live, what they're all going to eat.
Well, that's what we're doing. I mean, it's
population and diminishing resources.
Okay, as Connie said, look at the aging population that comes into Jackson, Josephine. We got retirees moving here by the boatloads.
Yep.
Now,
That's right.
are they going to stay here and and live forever here, or are they going to go back somewhere where they came from by families closer?
Right.
Did I retire here for a few years and going to go back? I don't know that. But there's just a lot of retirees here, and these services and some of the things we're going to see. Wow, so much. There's so much to kind of get your head around. But it is encouraging, at least to hear you say that some of the builders around is beginning to see that the value of this, that it is for everybody. And I would sure think because of the standards that you have here, that most homes in the future would want to be built this way with many of these standards already in them, right?
Well, when you walk into, say, the Johnson's home or another certified home, it feels so spacious. Okay. Yeah. Many of the features are just good for everyone. The wider doorways is more useful for moving furniture, getting your stroller in and out of the house. Who doesn't like to have a little more room in their living room to move their furniture the way they want to? And for instance, it's really one of the major features is to have the knobs of a stove in the front.
Right.
So that if you're in a wheelchair, you're not reaching over the burners to turn the knobs. That is also that's just good for everyone. Yeah. And
well, a lot of times you don't even think of what when you're in your home, you don't even think about what might work.
Yeah.
If I could stay longer, what would it take? And in some cases, maybe you can remove part of a doorway or something, and that would open up a whole new thing.
Or do a pocket door, or do there are different construction modes that you can use to modify.
Think of my hallway. You and I have to turn sideways if we're going to pass.
No, your hallway would not work. You could not do your house.
No. We'd have to,
you're what do you call it? You're that accessible. You're the visitor accessible.
I could get the entryway.
That's all you are. Yeah, you can go around. You can go around your house this way.
Or otherwise, I'd have to take it down to the foundation and go from there.
Well, I think part of the problem in that is stairs. I mean, let's face it, stairs are the biggest impediment that seniors face in their mobility. And stairs are like dams blocking rivers, blocking salmon. You just can't do it. And more and more people, I mean, single levels kinds of things as you build these new houses. But as Connie said, now you're building them where you have an apartment upstairs for a caregiver or somebody else. I hadn't even thought of that one as it goes.
And the other thing is, for instance, another realtor in Ashland approached us about how to make their home certified. Well, Ashland's very hilly terrain.
Yeah.
So the way you get a no-step entry is to have a driveway that goes up to the garage and the flat entry from the garage into the house.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just very creative ways of making that home accessible. And from the builder's perspective, if you start from the design phase, it really doesn't cost any more to build an accessible home.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
Unlike maybe they talk about green homes and have this, and this. I agree with you there. I mean, a wider hallway is not going to make a difference, or the bathroom kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some crunches in design,
Sure.
Depending on the space that you have. But the one place where it might be a little more expensive is when you start getting appliances that are specialized, but just the home itself isn't more expensive to build.
And it may be of greater value, may hold value going forward, while you didn't have to pay exorbitantly more to get in.
Right.
Exactly. We're almost out of time here, but what type of flooring are in these homes? They're not use carpets, do they?
They would use, if they did have carpet, to be low pile, but mainly it's hardwood.
They're hardwoods or laminate floorings in most of these places. I would think so. It's easier to get around in, less chance of falling, and those kinds of things as well.
You definitely don't want to have any throw rugs in a house if you have fall risk.
No. I even know that one. I got you there. No kidding. it's an interesting topic. So look, Connie, we're out of time, but thank you for visiting with us. And how can someone find you if they want to talk to you further about this? So how can you tell us how you can find you
Well, we have a beautiful website called lifelonghousing.org.
Okay.
You can go look there. You could email me at csaldana@rvcog.org, csaldana@rvcog.org.
Look at all that, yeah.
And of course, you could phone me.
Okay, yeah.
541-423-1383.
Well, good luck to you. You know, in your classes, and thank you for participating with RVAR in these things, because the agents need this kind of stuff. We always talk about that. You know, that's why we do our show.
Trying to help our clients is the bottom line.
Help people.
Yeah.
And so many. This is such a great topic for so many people. There's so many options that that help you stay in your home longer, because we all want to do that until the point where you go. So. Good luck with that. I'm glad that's working out for you.
Okay.
Hey, that'll do it for the Real Estate Show here this week. Thanks so much for being with us, everyone. Don't forget, we're back with you next Saturday. We got Sheriff Nate Sickler will be with us, along with Guy Giles. Hope you'll join us then. Have a great week, everybody, and God bless you all. We'll talk to you next week back here on the Real Estate Show.